Hey everyone, and welcome. Let's talk about something I think we can all relate to, feeling overwhelmed. You know that feeling like you're stuck in a thick fog of confusion? Well, you are definitely not alone. In this explainer, we're going to dive into this powerful idea of clarity, and more importantly, how you can actually achieve it. We'll break down what it is, what's getting in your way, and the simple steps you can take to get back to that clear, empowered state of being. So, let's jump right in.
I mean, seriously, we've all been there. That feeling of being completely swamped, not knowing which way to turn. It's kind of like trying to find your way through a super thick fog, and man, is it frustrating. But here's the thing, what if I told you there's a way to completely clear that fog? To find your way back to a place of real clarity and purpose? Well, that's exactly what we're going to get into today.
Okay, so how do we actually get from that confusing place to a state of real clarity? Well, here's our roadmap. First, we're going to figure out what clarity really is. Then, we'll tackle the biggest thing standing in our way, fear. After that, we'll uncover the power of what's called alignment to beat that fear. Then, we get to the good stuff, the practical work of challenging those limiting beliefs. And finally, we'll see how all of this leads to a totally new way of looking at life.
All right, so first things first. Before we can even start looking for clarity, we got to know what we're looking for, right? And it's so much more than just having a clear head. It's a really deep state of being. So let's check out how our source material defines this powerful idea. Okay, now this might challenge some of the things you believe, so just hang with me here. According to our source, the fundamental truth is that nothing, absolutely nothing, is wrong anywhere in the universe. Everything is right. So clarity isn't about having all the answers, it's about this deep, unshakable trust that everything is unfolding exactly as it should, for your own good. It's a huge shift in perspective, and honestly, it can change everything. You know, think about a time you felt totally alive, just completely in the zone. Maybe you were falling in love, or maybe you were just doing something that you absolutely adore. That feeling, that emotional state, that's where clarity lives. See, it's not something you can just think your way into, it's something you have to feel. It's found in love and feeling good and alignment, in confidence and in faith.
So, if clarity is supposed to be our natural state, what's the deal? What keeps pulling us out of it? Well, the source points a finger at one main culprit: fear.
I want you to imagine putting on a pair of glasses that just distorts everything you look at. That's exactly what fear does. It totally clouds your perception and makes everything seem confusing, even threatening. It's that little voice whispering lies, telling you you're not good enough or you're going to fail. But what if you could just take those glasses off and see the world as it really is? Well, that's the power of clarity.
So it really boils down to this simple but powerful choice we have in every single moment. We can operate from a place of fear, which is all about illusion, confusion, and these limiting beliefs. Or we can choose clarity, which is rooted in truth, alignment, and faith. The thing is, you can't be in both places at once. So the question is, which one are you going to choose? Okay, this right here is a really crucial insight. Our fears, they aren't just random anxieties that pop up out of nowhere. They're actually symptoms of a much deeper issue. They come from these limiting beliefs that we've kind of picked up along the way. Like, for example, if you're terrified of public speaking, it's probably not about the speaking itself. It's likely rooted in a deeper belief that you're not good enough or that people are going to judge you. And the cool part is, once you can identify and challenge that belief, the fear just starts to lose its grip.
So, if fear is the problem, then what's the antidote? According to our source, it's something called alignment, and that is our path back to clarity. So how in the world do we find this state of alignment? It's actually a pretty simple three-step process. First, just make feeling good your number one priority. Do stuff that brings you joy, that raises your vibration. Second, and yeah, this can be the trickiest part, you have to accept where you are right now. Don't fight it, don't judge it, just let it be. And then finally, from that place of acceptance, you can start to gently move toward what you prefer, toward your dreams. And trust me, this is where the magic really happens. As you start to practice these simple steps, you'll feel a shift. That fog of confusion, it'll start to lift. And you'll find yourself in this incredible state of clarity and flow. And it's not a coincidence. It's the direct result of you committing to finding your alignment.
Okay, let's get into the nitty-gritty. How do we actually deal with those limiting beliefs that have been fueling all this fear? This is where the real work begins.
So here's the 4-step process for getting that clarity. Step 1, just acknowledge the fear. No judgment, just notice it's there. Step 2,
Get curious. Ask yourself, okay, what's the underlying belief that's making me feel this way? Step 3, put on your detective hat and look for evidence that this belief is actually false. I promise you'll find it. And finally, step 4, you get to choose a new, better, more empowering belief that actually serves you.
Now, I know, choosing a new belief can feel a little weird at first, so affirmations can be a super powerful tool to help make it stick. Let's walk through a few really good ones from our source material.
Okay, just take a deep breath and say this to yourself, either out loud or in your head. I have the ability to see things clearly. Really feel the power in those words. This isn't just wishful thinking. It's a statement of fact about who you are.
Okay, this next one is a total game changer. It's all about shifting from that old mindset of struggle and control to one of just ease and flow. Instead of trying to force every little thing to happen, you learn to trust the process and just allow things to unfold. And man, it is such a more peaceful and effective way to live. And finally, this affirmation is a declaration of your own power. See, it's not about being fearless. It's about being courageous. It's about seeing your fears pop up and not letting them run the show. It's about using your clarity like a compass to guide you right through whatever challenge comes your way.
So, what does life actually look like when you start to practice this consistently? Well, it's not just a small tweak. It's a fundamental, ground-up shift in your entire perspective.
This really sums up the whole shift perfectly. You go from this old mindset where you feel like you have to fix and control every little condition to a new mindset of allowing and just observing the benefits. For example, instead of fuming because you're stuck in traffic, you might see it as, hey, perfect chance to listen to that podcast or just have a quiet moment. It's a seemingly small shift in perspective, but it makes a world of difference.
And this is the ultimate shift. It's the moment you realize you are not a victim of your circumstances. You're the creator of your reality. When you can truly, deeply believe that everything is happening for you, not to you, you'll start seeing opportunities and blessings everywhere. I really invite you to just try this perspective on for a day, see how it changes things.
So as we wrap this up, I want to leave you with a question to really think about. What illusion is ready to be cleared from your life? What fear has been holding you back from living the way you really want to? I really encourage you to take a moment with that and then just take one small step to let that illusion go. Embrace a new reality of clarity, joy, and purpose. Because the power, it's always been in your hands.